Proverbs 14:7. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. In other words, get away from fools. You find them by their speech. When a person's words contradict Bible truth and wisdom, he's a fool. They may have educational degrees, they may have a high IQ, but without the Lord, he is a fool. You see, wisdom begins with God. Proverbs 9:10 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding." James 1:5 says, "If you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him." The quickest way away from wisdom is to simply be around fools. Peer pressure is very real and has taken many young people down the wrong path. Professors in college that have not the wisdom of God are fools, and they lead young adults down the same road. This is why I would never recommend a secular college to a young person, no matter how qualified and marvelous this institution is said to be. For if they be without God, it is a place of fools. Be careful to follow Solomon's instruction on this matter. Chapter 9, verse 6, he says, "Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding." In chapter 13, verse 20, he says, "He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed." The New Testament concurs. In 1 Corinthians 15:33, it says, "Be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners." From this proverb, we know that spotting a fool is simply listening to what they speak. They speak from insane presuppositions. For instance, they believe existence and order came with an explosion of nothing into something. It's called the Big Bang Theory. Remember, it's a theory, not a fact. They believe in the highest intelligence in the universe is their own thoughts. That's a self-esteem theory. Again, it's not fact, it's theory. Faith is God's gift to recognize truth that educated, intelligent men cannot discover. Faith is the only basis for sound reasoning. A man with faith begins his reasoning with God's existence, the truth of the Bible, and his own depravity. He is the only reasonable man on earth. The fool, reasoning from arrogance and existence, is profanely unreasonable. He has dedicated himself against wise men in their so-called learning. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, it says, "For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent." Where's the wise? Where's the scribe? Where's the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? Chapter 3, verse 19 and 20, "For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. For it is written, He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise, that they are vain." He prefers to the priorities of this world as profane and old wise fables, and the so-called sciences of this world as profane and babblings. Listen to what God says through Paul in 1 Timothy. Chapter 4, verse 7 says, "But refuse profane and old wives' fables, and exercise thyself rather unto godliness." Again, in 1 Timothy 6:20 and 21, he says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called, which some professing have erred concerning the faith. Grace be with thee. Amen." We've heard this word science battered around much in regards to COVID. And yet, much of what is called science is science falsely so called. Again, to recognize a fool, listen to him. In Ecclesiastes it says, the words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? When you realize the one that is in your presence is a fool, run. Get away from it. That's what this proverb teaches, and it is most wise to do so.